Now before continuing, let's save this file. To save this, click on this icon here and select a folder, give a name. So I have given a name as Postgres. It will save it as a SQL file. I'm going to click on save. So let's continue to learn some more SQL statements. The next one, let's learn how to write an alias. Now, if you want to increase the size of your text and the overall size of this tool, you can click on the view menu and click on zoom in so that you can see in bigger fonts. So now let's take a look at this query. Sometimes you don't like the column names. So in this case, the column name is business entity ID. So instead of showing the column name as business entity ID, imagine I want to show it as employee ID. So that's what we called an alias. So business entity ID as employee ID. So here the statement select business entity ID as employee ID. What it will do is it will display this column as employee ID. Let's run this. You see this? It will display this column as employee ID. Over here, you can see that the entire schema, that is human resources.employee, has an alias called E. So here we are saying e.businessEntityId. What it means is get me the column called business entity ID from human resources.employee. So E represents human resources.employee. Of course, in this case, it is redundant. We don't really need the E. This will perfectly work fine without the E. You see this? I have removed the E and I'm going to run this query again and it will work fine. But later on, when we are like dealing with two tables and a join, this will play an important role. Instead of saying like get me this column from this schema, this table, we can simply use the alias to represent the schema and table name. So here we are selecting the business entity ID, vacation hours and sick leave hours. All of them have an alias from human resources.employee where vacation hours is greater than 40. Everything here has an alias. Next is the computed columns. Sometimes we don't want to see the columns as is, we want to add up two columns. Like for example, I want to see the vacation hours plus sick leave hours. So what we are doing here is we are going to add up the vacation hours plus sick leave hours and we are going to display it as one column called available time off. Let's run this. You see this employee ID and available time off. Available time off is a computed column. It adds up these two columns and displays it as one column. Now it does not create a column called available time off. There is no column called available time off in our database table called human resources.employee. No. But it will calculate this column at runtime when we are doing the query. When we are displaying the data, it's going to quickly add up these two columns and it's going to display it as one column. Let's look at the not operator. So all this while we were looking at queries where title is equal to miss and so on. But how do we query for the negative of it? Like for example over here, we want the title, first name and last name from person.person where not title equal to miss. That is, I want the records where the title is not equal to miss. See this? We are going to get all kinds of records where we don't have the title called miss. It's going to be Mr., Senior, and so on. Of course, there is another way to write the same query. Instead of using this not title equal to miss, you can also write the same query like this, where title not equal to miss. It's the same number of records as a result. It's 594 records right here for not equal to miss. And for the previous one, 594 records, not title equal to miss. It's the same thing. Let's look at this. Where not title equal to miss or title equal to Mr. That is, get me all the records where the title is not equal to Miss or not equal to Mr. There are 17 records with title as senior or SRA, things like that. This Miss is missing a dot over here. Let's look at this one. Where title not in Miss or Mr. So this is another way of writing the same thing. Where title not in Miss or Mr. The in command will receive a list of elements. You see this? It's the same number of records. Now, is there an efficient way of writing it? No, there is no efficiency over here. Both of them are equally efficient.